Okay, so we're going to talk a little complex sentence. It's been a while. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, ate lots of turkey. If you're a turkey hater, I hope you ate some mashed potatoes. Those are my favorite. All right, so let's talk about what a complex sentence, and it's been a while. And now that we've benchmarked, we can kind of see that there are some things that you guys were missing. And one of them, you guys still felt really uncomfortable with commas. Complex sentences and being able to tell the difference between a complex, compounding, and simple sentence will help alleviate that. So remember, a complex sentence is a sentence where one idea is more important than another. And that kind of goes into what the parts are. You have an independent clause, and a dependent clause. And now that we've done rhetorical analysis, I can tell you guys the independent clause is going to be more important. Okay, so something that's really important to remember that an independent clause is still a clause. So it's going to have a subject and a verb. And an independent clause is a sentence that can stand on its own. And so that's really, really, really important. You don't need anything else to go with that. You don't need a conjunction. It can stand alone, but it has to have a subject and a verb, at least. A dependent clause is going to have a subject and a verb, but it will begin, the clause will begin with a subordinating conjunction, which is subordinating. If you want to talk about thinking about the ACT and thinking about vocabulary, subordinate, I always think of the military, means it's lower. So this cannot stand on its own. It needs an independent clause with it. And that's going to be really, really important. So you are never going to see a dependent clause with a period. It has to have that independent clause, whether or not it's going to be before the independent clause or after the independent clause. It really just does not matter. So for subordinating conjunctions, we kind of talked about these, and you have a list in Schoology. But some of the fan favorites you'll see are even though, although, while, as, and so on. So make sure that you're looking at your list in Schoology, but you'll see when you have a dependent clause, you'll see the subordinating conjunction plus the subject plus the verb. And that's going to be really, really important because with that, the subordinating conjunction, it cannot stand alone. So it's going to be important. Okay, so punctuation for a complex sentence. If the dependent clause comes first, meaning you have the subordinating conjunction plus the subject plus the verb, you will add a comma before the independent clause and a period. If the independent clause comes first, followed by the dependent clause, which is the subordinating conjunction plus the subject plus the word, equals no punctuation. A common mistake that I see is people want to put a comma right here. No comma. No comma. Resist the comma. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's really important. Oh, hey guys, do me a favor just so I can learn a little bit about you. Go ahead in the corner of your paper right here. Go ahead and write for me. Write down your favorite color. Write down that favorite color. Mine is purple and blue, which means working at Highlands is awesome because I can wear blue all the time. But remember, right there, favorite color. Okay, so let's do a little bit of practice with this. I want you to really think about the differences now. So a simple sentence is just going to be a subject and a verb. It's going to be standalone. And it may be more than one subject, but you're always, it's going to have the same, it's going to be more than, it's just going to be this. There's not going to be, you're not going to see another independent clause. With a compound sentence, you're going to see a subject plus a verb plus a couple other things. You may see a comma and a fan voice. You may see a semicolon. You may see a semicolon with a transition and a comma. There are many things you may see, but the biggest thing is you're going to see a subject and verb on both sides of the equation. Complex sentence, but these are both, before I forget, these are both independent clauses. With a complex sentence, you are going to see a dependent clause and an independent clause. Remember that dependent clause is going to be a subordinating conjunction plus a subject plus a verb. Or you will see an independent clause, no comma, and a dependent clause, which is a subordinating conjunction plus a subject plus a verb. Okay? Really, really, really important. So I want to kind of work on, let's be able to tell the difference. I want you guys to do some labeling. It's going to be real good. But this is really important because this is where the ACT tries to trick you. They're counting on the fact that you don't know what subjects and verbs are. And some of you guys saw that they really try to mess with you a little bit. All right, so for the example, it says, in the distance, I could hear thunder. So I know I have a subject right there. Could hear is going to be my verb. I have a direct object. And then I have a prepositional phrase. What kind of sentence is this? Ooh, simple. This is not, that's a prep phrase. It is not a clause. It is not dependent. I don't have a subject in there, or I don't have a verb in there. I'm sorry. So that's going to be simple. Let's look at this one together. Okay, so it said, while you cook dinner, I will set the table. So I have a subject for you, I have a verb, and I have a direct object. Then I have a comma here. That's interesting. Subject, verb, direct object. All right, but then I got this word right here. It's a support. While is a supporting conjunction. So I know this is a dependent clause, and that's an independent clause. Well, stink, that's going to be a complex sentence. See how you have one subject up here, but I have two here. When I see two subjects, it's either going to be a complex or a compound sentence. I don't see a fan voice. I don't see a semicolon, but I do see that conjunction right there. And that's a subordinating conjunction. All right, let's try another one. I did the experiments. Tim recorded the results. All right, so I is my subject. My verb is going to be did. Experiments is a direct object. Ooh, I got the semicolon here. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I got a subject. I got my verb. And I have a direct object right there. Well, I see a semicolon. I do not see a subordinating conjunction. This is going to be compound. And if you need to, diagram it. If you're not sure if it's simple or compound, diagram it. And here I know for sure I have an independent clause here, so on a diagram they're going to sit separately. So it can't be a simple sentence. So we're going to work on that. I want you guys to be able to tell the difference. I want you guys to be able to punctuate, and I want you guys to be able to diagram it. And I think for some of you guys, that was a huge reason why your English scores went up. So we're going to work on that tomorrow. So I want you guys to do this one, label and identify. 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 And you will submit that via Schoology, and we'll work on that more tomorrow. But you guys are doing a like, I cannot tell you, Mrs. Stewart, Miss McCormick, and I have been talking about you all to everyone that you guys are really killing that English test. All right, so keep up the great work.